beams is what happened. The mage was shooting on through there. But yeah, that's my AFK build. That's what I use all the time. I mean, with that, I mean, it was obviously shooting through because that one archer went down. Yeah, the spears do go through. But, like I said, I've AFK'd this map so many times. I've actually got a pretty decent Purge Evil weapon now. But of course, you know, you want to find the perfect one. This one's a lower item power. But 395, the maximum is 400%. And I'm at 395 now, but it's not perfect. And that's the only thing worth getting on this map, really. I'm going to throw some PDTs in the mix on the sides this time. The only problem with this build is you gotta... This used to, back before, like in the early access of this game, the real early access, I know it's still called early access now, but way back when, you used to do this map with cannonballs. You use the cannons here, and it just wrecked house. Thin out these side packs a little bit more with some PDT action. The PDTs, of course, shoot right through the walls, so... Come on. A couple more right here in the front. That should take care of those mages, those pesky mages. You just need Jimbo. For an Aura Monk, you need... what, defense crit? Defense power, defense crit. And... I mean, obviously the boots off of the power surge would be the ones you want. I don't have a nice pair of boots on my monk, but... you know, you want Radiance, Amped Up, and Defense Crit as your 3 passives. This is my Lightning Aura Monk too. All I do is change weapons. And it's, I change weapons, it's my Lightning Aura Monk. I change weapons and medallions. And then it's my boost monk. Now obviously I'm using the boost with it now. Bad placement on one of these PDTs, huh? Let me get this other one moved up a little further, just so I don't have any problems with that buff beam. Yeah, they're straight across now. Yeah, 65% is the best roll. That, of course, you want on your relic. But 65% is the best roll you can get. See, that one's good, and that one's good. If you look for the Idle Flow passive, I've got a bad... my Idle Flow passive is only 72%, but lower is better. It's misspoken. The writing there is incorrect. Alright, let's go. Let's actually go like this. Well, you know what? I want them to shoot both ways, though. That's the thing. I'll go slightly to the outside there. It's really nice being able to see the proper angles that your archers are shooting at now. That's for certain. Now, obviously, if I face this way, I don't see them. Let's go like that. Is that right? Good enough. Nah, 65% is the best there, Neo. So you got the good shit. I think I might use an extra reflect node here compared to what I normally do. So like now this one doesn't want to reach back there very far. And of course there's a difference too playing this solo. I mean, this is my Now, I've done this one multiplayer a million times too, just like this. There we go. Yep. And then that's going to leave me enough for my protons. Now, like I said, if you... I'm going to have to check out some strats on spawn camping. Because this map, there is a lot of runtime. Yeah, I get that repair on all of them as well. It's fine, Jimbo. Don't worry about it, man. It'll be alright. Now that I got those PDTs in the mix, there's not much that's gonna make it up there that far. Not much faster, huh? Well, you think it would have to be a little faster just because they're not running all the way to you. But this map is pretty quick anyway. It's not like it's... You know, this is another one, in my opinion, that's just insanely easy to grind. Just because it is a quick run and it's not, you know, not ridiculously boring. I do too, Omni. I spawn camp most of the maps as well. I haven't grinded on this map in so long. I got my... You know, the grind on this map was for the weapons back in the day. You know, your Armored Cleanser and your Armageddon. I grinded this map a million times. I mean, it seems like that. This was actually the big grinder back before you could get to level 50, when it was 25 was the max. This map is the one everybody grinded on. And it was 100% because of that Armored Cleanser. It was so OP. This guy's getting wrecked now. I'm excited for the... I mean, it's going to be a while before we get the strategic revamp. Of course, the next big patch coming by the end of September is going to be the campaign redo. And that's not going to do anything for endgame players. But I think it's going to be kind of a little bit of a testing ground, too, for the introduction of the strategic revamp. It's going to be exciting to see how that goes. You know, just by playing through the campaign, you're supposed to be able to get to level 50. I mean, that's pretty awesome, you know. For any new players, I'm actually going to hop on my wife's account when that patch comes and go through that. You know, I want to get that experience. Playing through the campaign and checking it out in its new form. The wife's account has one, like, level 6 Huntress, I think. And that's it. Armored Cleanser does nothing anymore, Jimbo. It used to, back when there was lane resistances, the Armored Cleanser reduced, it reduced the, your enemy's resistances, which was huge when there was lane resistances. But now that the lane resistances are gone, you don't really get any benefit from it. I've had probably a dozen of them, but I've still got 2 of them in my inventory, just saving them in case they're ever special again. But I just got a feeling that the days of the Armored Cleanser being special are probably gone. I'm not sure, Neo. You would think that they're going to do something to change that. Now, there's always going to be a map that's the best XP, no matter what they do. I mean, there's always going to be something that is kind of the go-to map for XP. And I mean, what makes the Harbinger the best map is not the amount of experience it gets, but how quickly you can run it on a, you know, on a low difficulty. The top 3 maps, as far as like my favorite maps, you mean there, Omni? As far as like my personal favorites, I think as far as maps go, I would have to say Temple of the Necrotic is probably my favorite map. As far as the original defense maps go. And then for incursions, you know, I like the Bling King and the, you know, the Molten Citadel. Alright, so what the fuck is shooting through there? It's very strange. I just don't have any issues with this when I'm doing this solo. I'm not sure if it's a change with the difficulty of mobs or the amount of mobs or what the deal is, but I don't know why I'm losing stuff here. And I'm gonna have to put that back down. Oh man, if I had a swear jar, that thing would be full. But yeah, anyway, Temple of the Necrotic, the Bling King, and the Molten Citadel incursion are probably my favorite maps. My favorite weapons, I can tell you that my favorite weapon for sure is the halberd from Bastille for the Apprentice. I absolutely love that weapon. And in fact, when it came into the game, it was, for me, I mean, it was one of my favorite things I've seen so far. Even though I don't use the Apprentice very often, that's definitely one of my favorite weapons. When I'm in the mood to melee, I think I like that Galactic weapon on the Squire with the Spooky passive, where it adds the stacks of Howling or whatever and gives you the super attack speed. That one is probably my favorite, on the favorites list as well. And for a third, I mean, you know, now obviously, if you look at every single build that people do, all the common builds, you know, of course I'm always big on the Abyss Lord and the EV2, because they're just two of my favorite characters. But if you look at what is probably the most important tower in the game, I personally think it's Serenity Aura. Purge Evil is huge. I mean, if you look at every build type, it's used just constantly. And plus the Infernal Combustor, the weapon itself, just looks so cool. I mean, as far as the looks of the weapon compared to any other weapon, in my opinion, it's the coolest looking one. I mean, it's just badass looking. You know, there is no doubt about that. And then top 3 heroes, I would have to say probably the Eevee, without a doubt. What up, Blingy? The Eevee is probably my favorite hero overall. And that goes all the way back to the original game. And then I definitely like, you know, I like the Abyss Lord. And same thing there, that goes back to the original game. I was a huge fan of the Summoner. And used him constantly, as did everyone. And for the third favorite character, as far as playstyle and what's available in the game right now, I really enjoy the Gun Witch. Now I know, you know, it's not near as effective as some of the other characters as far as straight out raw DPS, but as far as a fun factor, it's way up there. I mean, it's a blast to play with. See, I think I'm gonna do this. Let's see, what do we got here? Everything alive back in here still. Get a buff on that archer. I think we're good. And bosses, as far as bosses go, I mean, I like the Demon Lord, you know, from the Molten Citadel, but one of the reasons I like that is Magus Quarters was one of the, you know, was a very fun map for me in the original Dungeon Defenders. And in fact, it was probably the map that kind of set the hook, so to speak. Because I played Dungeon Defenders, and I didn't really get into it a whole lot right at the beginning. And then when it got to that point where it was time to start grinding mana to do upgrades or whatever, the very first one I started doing was Magus Quarters. Now, you know, obviously that's not the best one, and I changed over time. But that's what I started off with, was Magus Quarters. Did we lose anything in there? Doesn't look like we did. We're going to, though. Holy shit, look at that archer. 244 health. All these archers are way down. That's what happens when you stand on your archers. Never a good idea. I don't know why I always do it. See that one? Oh, yeah, that one too. 244. I'm out of mana. Just insta-dead the second you pop Dragolich. That's just so awesome. Throw a little love on that one too. We got flyers coming in. Well, that's a tough one too. As far as abilities go, well, I mean, definitely it's not even an ability. Well, I guess it's an ability, but well, let's start off with just pure abilities first. I mean, the proton cannon with the EV it's clearly just beast, but it also matches with my playstyle somewhere, because I don't necessarily mind like parking up and defending a point somewhere. I'm not against that at all, and the proton cannon just makes it just, you know, insanely capable in that aspect. And then, you know, I really like just the mechanic itself of snipe. You know, now I know snipe is a right click and not an actual ability, but I like the thought of snipe. And, you know, obviously all the flying around stuff on the, you know, like the flying around stuff on the gun, which is pretty awesome, adding all that mobility. But I think that, like, my third favorite would probably be, like, a tie between the slam and the pole smash of the Squire and the EV. Just because it's so awesome. In the Squire particularly, if you do it from way up in the air, like jumping off something, it gives you a wonderful feeling of gratification when you land and smash everything. It's just awesome. Fly, honestly, way out there still. I was all stoked about that Armored Cleanser until the Armageddon, the Armored Cleanser, the special drops of in this map, until it got changed again. So the Armored Cleanser is back from, I mean, it has a chance, I guess, to drop from the chest, but it's back from dropping on the, yeah, it's chrome enemies now. They're roomsy. Malthius here is going to be where those items drop. So, oh, smashed in the face. Didn't see what hit me. That looks like a weapon. It doesn't look like it's one of the special weapons. It's a straight up EV weapon, I believe. Yeah. Here's a Magmanus projector there. It's a good one. I like that life leech on it, but it doesn't have hero crit. Lost a Serenity. Doesn't even matter at this point. I can't really help. I can help in the aspect of you can feel free to use my videos. Are you talking about the Alien Spectre, Pat? There, T-Man Jeep. Let's see what kind of fat loot we get. Give me the 400%. Let's see it. 400. Ugh, crappy one. 341. That's a POS right there. What else we get there? Bunch of unuseful items. Not even remotely helpful. Anyway, that weapon right there is without a doubt the coolest looking weapon in the game, in my opinion. Just insane. So cool.